Seekers! If you're watching this video, you are ready to start on your math activities for the week. So let's take a look. This is the week of May 18th through 22nd, and this week you should have been reading chapters 15 through 20, and for math, we're doing math activities 5 and 6. Math activity 5 is located underneath what you did last week. It's the one titled Weigh In, with the picture of the little doggy that looks like Dobby, and the weight of dogs right here. And then math activity 6 is on the top of the next page, not this. This is for next week, but it's this right here called Janie's Garden. So let's take a closer look at each of those, and I'll give you a couple of tips and tricks. Alrighty, here we go. So here's math activity 5. At Mom's vet's office, pets are weighed at the beginning of each examination. The weights of dogs that come to the office one day are below. How can you organize the data in a line plot? Now, we've done this in class, you guys. So we got information here. We have our raw data, and they want us to put it on a line plot, and they want us to answer a couple of questions. Now, your line plot is just a straight black line. You are going to need to make yours look like mine in order to do it. So what you need to do, you need to have 6 at the beginning of your line plot. 12 needs to be toward the end, but not all the way at the end. Because when you look at your data, you see you actually have numbers that go past 12. We've got 12 and 1/4. So that's why I have 12 and then a couple more lines after 12 to show that we have more than just 12. So I've done my marks to the quarter mark. So here's 6. This little line means 6 and 1/4. This slightly bigger line is 6 1/2, 6 3/4, 7. So 7 1/4 or 1/4, 7 1/2, 7 3/4, 8. 8 1/4, 8 1/2, 8 3/4, 9. 9 1/4, 9 1/2, 9 3/4, 10. 10 1/4, 10 1/2, 10 3/4, 11. 11 1/4, 11 1/2, 11 3/4, 12. 12 1/4, 12 1/2. So that's what your line plot needs to look like, or at least close to it. Then all you're gonna do, you're gonna go to each number and you're gonna put a dot above that point in the line. So the first one is 12 1/2. I'm sorry, 8 1/2. So here's 8. That's 8 1/4. This is 8 1/2. So it's going to get a dot right there. And I'm going to put a line through this to show that I did that one. And then I'm going to go to my next piece of data, 12 1/4. So I'm going to go to 12 1/4, which is the line next to the 12. I'm going to get to right there. And then mark that one out. I'm going to show you just a couple more, and then you're going to do the rest on your own. There's the 6. So it's just going to get a dot right above the line there on the 6. I'm going to mark that out. I'm going to do one more for you guys, 11 1/2. Here's my 11, 11 1/4, 11 1/2. So the dot's going to go right there. And I'm going to mark that one out. So you're going to keep going. You're going to do the rest of them all the way through. Once you're done with your line plot, you're going to answer the questions. Which weight occurs the most often? So that'll be the one with the most number of dots on top of it. Which weight occurs the least often will be the one with the least number of dots on top of that part. And how can you tell from the line plot? You can tell by counting the dots. That's all you have to tell from that. All right, so that is math activity 5. Basic line plot. I don't think that'll be a problem for you guys. Math activity 6. What I've done for this is I've changed the numbers so that I can do one for you without actually solving this problem for you, because I want you to do the original one. So I'm going to read it to you so you know what we're talking about if you haven't read this yet. And I'm going to read you with the original numbers, not with my made-up numbers. Janie has 4/10 of the backyard set up for growing vegetables. Of the vegetable area, 3/10 is what the original number says, has carrots in it. What part of the backyard contains carrots? This is basically a multiplication problem, you guys. It's asking you to multiply 4/10 by 3/10 to find out what area of the vegetable garden is carrots. And the word of is kind of our clue word there. Of usually tells us to multiply. So it says, you can use appropriate tools such as a grid to model decimal multiplication. Let the height and width of each row and column represent 1/10, just like we do in class. We've done this in class. We've even done this in math for today. This is where we do one set of lines going one way vertically, one set of lines going horizontally, and then we look at what overlaps. It's like the double grid where we have like the two grids and we lay them on top of each other and see what overlaps. That's what this is. So I've changed the numbers. Instead of Janie having 4/10 of the backyard set up for growing vegetables, I changed it to 6/10. And instead of 3/10 of those vegetables being carrots, I changed it to 2/10, just so I could do an example for you guys. So I'm going to show you how to do this. But remember, you have to use the original numbers, 4/10 and 3/10, not 6/10 and 2/10 like I'm doing. So I'm going to use two colors. I'm going to use red. I'm going to use blue. So first, I'm going to do the amount that Janie has that's vegetables, and that's 6/10 according to my made up example. So I'm going to color 6 of these rows. 1, 2, 3, and of course they don't have to be perfect, you guys. 4, 5, whoops. Pretend I didn't go out of the line there. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And remember the trick we did in class. I'll have to turn the paper for just a second, but you can even number them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. Now I'm going to look at the other number. For your example, what you're going to be doing is 3/10, but I'm making up my own example. I'm doing 2/10. We're going to go the opposite way. So before we went up and down, we went vertically. Now I'm going to go left to right, horizontally. And I'm going to color in 1, 2. And that's it, because it's just 2/10. And then what we do to find our answer is we're going to find the part that has both colors. And we're going to count those squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we know when we're looking at this hundredths grid, if each whole line is a 10th, then each individual square is a 100th, because this is a 100th chart. I counted 12, so that means my answer is 12 hundredths, just like that. And that's it. So you guys are going to do the same thing, except you're going to use your numbers. You're going to use 4/10 and 3/10. There may be some similarities between what happened as a result of my numbers and what you get with your numbers. That doesn't mean it's right or wrong. Just don't be surprised if you see some similar things there, okay? So that is all you have to do, just that one problem on that page and the one line plot on this page, and that is it, guys. That is all of your math for the week. If you get stuck, just give me a shout on Teams and I'll be happy to work some more examples with you or take you through any of these problems step by step, every step of the way. Okay, you do not have to do this on your own. I am here for you. All right, guys, that's it for now. See you next time.